How do you top your love for your cat? With a cascade of decadent savory gravy over a mouth-watering mousse pâté. Fancy Feast gems. 2 gourmet pâtés in one convenient pack. Simply peel and plate to reveal a pyramid shape that makes eating delightful and pamper her with an experience as extraordinary as she is. Turn the everyday into the extraordinary with Fancy Feast gems.
Wish you could become a morning person? You know the type, up before the sun, early morning runs, first one to the office with donuts and a smile. How do they do it? Easy. With the new Galaxy Watch 8, sleep tracking and personalized insights from Samsung Health help you improve so you can wake up to a whole new you. One who, dare I say it, skips the snooze? It's possible. Train your sleep with Galaxy Watch 8. Learn more at Samsung.com. Requires compatible Samsung Galaxy phone, Samsung Health app, and Samsung account.
For a limited time at McDonald's, get a Big Mac extra value meal for $8. That means 2 all-beef patties, special sauce, lettuce, cheese, pickles, onions on a sesame seed bun, and medium fries, and a drink. We may need to change that jingle.
Prices and participation may vary.
This podcast is supported by FX's English Teacher. Last year's critically acclaimed series returns to follow Evan, Gwen, and Marky as they vie for their students' divided attention. See why Cosmopolitan called its premiere season a masterclass of comedy, while Glamour raved it's the year's funniest and most heartwarming new comedy series. FX's English Teacher, all new Thursdays on FX. All episodes now streaming on Hulu.
This episode is brought to you by Nespresso and Samra Origins by the Weekend Coffee Collection.
Introducing Samra Origins. My collaboration with Nespresso is a connection to my roots, to my mother, Samra. Coffee that hits the right notes. It transports you. Crafted with unique notes and bold soaring flavors. Experience a taste that moves you. Nespresso and Samra Origins.
Discover more at Nespresso.com.
Tom, favorite city of gastronomy?
I'm going to go with Panama City, and it's probably the only one that I've been to, unlike you, Kevin, which... if there's a bingo card, I think you've gotten like 18 bingos of gastronomy cities.
Oh, well, let me clarify the question, Tom. If there was no official UNESCO directory and you just got to be the czar of the world and named the ultimate city megapolis Xanadu of gastronomy, what would it be?
Oh, well then it's going to be Miami. I just got back from Miami, had some great meals, and I'll pick that.
Oh, the answer is Tokyo. This is Pack Your Knives. I'm John McLaughlin.
I'm Tom Haberstroh.
Tom, we're in Tucson. We're not in Tucson. The show is in Tucson, UNESCO City of Gastronomy. And we're down to the Final Four. This is an improbable Final Four, and not improbable from the standpoint of Buddha, who I think we all expected. Oddly improbable, but kind of sort of not improbable, because I did have Sarah in my top 4. But as we know, she was eliminated way long time ago, worked her way back through the loser's bracket of Last Chance Kitchen, and is now cooking her ass off. We have Damar, who was not picked highly in the draft, and Evelyn, who was sort of upper middle. Those are our 4. They are in Tucson. They are cooking with Cactus in obscure Sonoran Chiles. They are picking their way through Mexican gardens. They are being treated to Maria at judges' table. And they are cooking for the ultimate prize in competition cooking, Tom. Top Chef.
Well, Maria, what a welcome surprise that is. I should have known why they chose Tucson, Kevin. It's because it is the city, the patron saint of the Tucson gastronomic city of the world is Maria. Maria, our favorite, one of our favorites on Top Chef. She's lovely, and she was able to come onto the show, and I'm really excited that she is back on Top Chef. And it was, you know what, we kind of ragged on Tucson a little bit and played some jokes last week, but I thought I learned a lot in this episode. And even though Tucson isn't across the world on this Top Chef universe, I thought it was a pretty cool spot for them. I learned quite a bit, and I was really, I really enjoyed the challenges here. So I was actually, you know what, pleasantly surprised about Tucson.
Likewise, my big note is had a little fun at the show's expense. They've gone to some exotic locations. They I think for COVID reasons, had to stay domestic. They went to Tucson. Yeah, we had some fun, but the truth is, I love this episode. It felt they had a great sense of place in the episode. That Mexican garden. I mean, I think working with the chiltepin, working with the cactus, working with the guajillo chilies and the carne seca. It was great. I thought that they asked the perfect amount of sort of conformity and individuality of the chefs in the two challenges. Really, really love this all around. And honestly, and clearly the contestants were inspired. They turned out great food. It was one of those episodes, Tom, you're not going home for cooking poorly. You're going home for not cooking transcendently. That is how thick the competition is right now. We started a quick fire with carne seca, which is kind of elevated. What do we want to call it? Is it Sonoran beef jerky, but kind of elevated because it's not something you're going to yank off the store, yank off the shelf at the Quick Trip?
Literally elevated, Kevin. Literally elevated. What was that thing in the sky that was like held up by a crane? Is that real? I've never seen such a thing.
I guess you want sort of it to absorb the air.
The sunlight? Just like maximum sunlight?
I have no idea. I mean, when you do see that, when you go sort of see the way, like where were we? We were in Namibia and South Africa. Like when the way they hang jerky, you just sort of drape it over a clothesline. You want it to get air when you're truly sort of drying beef. There's Howard.
Hi, Howard.
Howard is in the house.
That's a good boy. That's a good boy.
Very sophisticated studios here.
Big fan of beef jerky. Howard is. Yes.
We started with the beef jerky challenge, or the carne seca challenge as it was. And they turned out 4 very yummy looking dishes. You want to start with, let's start with Evelyn. I feel like this is somewhat of a home game for her. She is obviously a Houstonian, not a Tucsonian, but she has done incredible things with Mexican cooking since the very outset of the show.
Tucsonite? Is it a Tucsonite?
A Tucsonite? A Tucsonian? Tucsoner?
This is a conundrum that we're in right now. I don't know.
It is a Houstonian, but is it a Tucsonian?
But it's Tucson. It's not Tucson.
Tucsonian.
Tucsonian?
Oh, the correct demonym for a local is a Tucsonan.
Tucsonan.
Tucsonan?
Interesting.
Tucsonan?
Tucsonan?
Okay.
I'm going to go with Tucsonan. Creamy grits with a chayote relish.
She toasted up the guajillo chili to really get, because I think that's what you want to do. You want to toast that pepper up. And then that's when you kind of add the carne seca. She did a chayote relish. Chayote is sort of it's a very mild, squashy, green squashy looking thing. It's a fruit, but it's more of a cucumbery kind of thing. There's not a lot going on there, but it's very delicate. She threw some yuzu in there to get some acid. And that was her quick fire challenge. Buddha did an upside down tostada, Tom. An upside down tostada. Also with guajillo chile, some goat cheese, and obviously the carne seca. Was dinged for having a greasy tostada.
Yeah, because he didn't get the right cook on the first time he did the tostada, so I kind of feel like he rushed this one on the second one. I liked his idea, always Buddha, just coming up with like a creative way to present without sacrificing the actual food.
Yes, Tom, he leads the league in quotation mark dishes. Quote, upside down tostada. Right, everything bagel something or it's always the old quotation mark dish.
Yes, Buddha with quotation marks. I'm just going to put quotation marks on his name in my notes here. He, you know what? I give him points for the creativity, the grease. I could kind of tell. I don't know if you caught that watching this episode. It just seemed like it had a little bit of wetness on top of it that I was like, I hope that dries in time or fries in time before it goes onto the dish, but it did not.
I like a greasy tostada, man. I'm sorry. I like a greasy.
Oh, really?
I love my nacho chips dripping in oil. I like my grease.
Like a potato chip, like if you get a...
Not a potato chip, but something about the corn in the grease that I really like. Like it's almost like buttery popcorn.
We had that question last week about what is a food peculiarity of one of your families or friends. And it dawned on me, Kevin, that you didn't mention your greatest food peculiarity, which is the cereal with half and half.
Oh, absolutely. That's mine. If you're going to eat breakfast cereal, if you're going to ingest those sugar carbs, you damn well want to do it with half and half. And frankly, you could go heavy whipped cream as well. I mean, heavy cream. You could do that as well. But half and half at the very least. There's a reason they have all this like cereal milk soft serve ice cream fad in the last 10 years. There's a reason for that, because cereal milk is the best milk. And if you're going to do it in creamy and delicious, you want to kind of up the fat content there. I don't want skim milk. Can you imagine eating cereal with skim milk? It's like eating cereal with water.
Kevin, I was deprived as a child. I was always a skim milk drinker. I blame my mother for growing us up on skim milk. And then when I grew up, I decided to try some 2%. And then eventually I was like, you know what? Why ever go back to skim? Once you go percentages or non-skim milk, you never go back. And greasy tostada, heavy cream with my breakfast cereal, and whole yolk, no whites, scrambled eggs.
Absolutely.
I love eating Kevin Arnett's food. The next one is going to be the heavy cream with my Raisin Bran.
Kevin, I got to ask, what type of cereal with the cream or the half and half?
As a rule, I don't eat breakfast cereal. It's just, we talk about empty calories. I think, well, it's different. Like the question which cereal is best accentuated by half and half is a different question than just best breakfast cereal. I love the Fruity Pebbles. I love a Golden Grahams. I'm Cookie Crisp, the usual that I think most 8-year-olds would like.
Cookie Crisp and heavy cream, baby. Oh, man.
However, no cereal is best amplified by its dairy product than Apple Jacks.
I haven't had Apple Jacks in a long time.
These are not breakfast cereals. I'm sorry. These are dessert cereals, Kevin. There are two different things. There's breakfast cereal and then there's dessert cereal. What you're describing is candy cereal. Fruit Loops, Fruity Pebbles, Apple Jacks.
I didn't say Fruit Loops.
This isn't breakfast cereal. Are you a child, Kevin?
Golden Grahams is the best pick. I can imagine that being phenomenal.
That was the one sugar cereal allowed in my house, was Golden Grahams. For some reason, in my mother's logic, it somehow got classified as semi-healthy rather than just garbage.
It's monochromatic. That's it.
You know what I mean? I think it's something Graham. I don't know if there's no artificial color. It's just kind of something. It was the one technicality in our household. It was classified with Honey Nut Cheerios as in sort of right at the threshold of acceptability.
I just wasn't imagining Kevin eating Cheerios, plain Cheerios with heavy cream. I think that would be a waste of the heavy cream. So that's why I get it now. It's kind of more like a treat.
No one likes real Cheerios. The only people who eat real Cheerios are those like babies in the back seat in their car seat with a little baggie that mom has given them.
I was just going to say my kids eat regular Cheerios.
Nobody likes Cheerios. If you're going to do Cheerios, you do Honey Nut Cheerio or some variation.
That's exactly right.
Souped up, turbocharged Cheerio.
I'm sorry for the detour. I just needed to get it in there that in case people are coming late to the show, they got to know about your half and half and cereal hack.
Eat breakfast cereal with half and half, always. DeMar got grilled avocado with a carne seca vinaigrette, which I really like the idea of, a fried tortilla, grilled corn.
Not a huge fan of the grilled avocado. How about you?
Nah.
I'm okay with like the buttery avocado, but not. I don't really need a grilled avocado. And when he was asked about it, like Padma was like, "Why'd you grill the avocado?" He didn't have like a totally great answer. You like the toasted on the outside, but I don't like the consistency of a toasted avocado.
I mean, other than you get the char, I don't know that you really get much from a grilled. I mean, what does open fire do to avocado? I could be wrong here.
I don't know, but it's a little fatty, so maybe it kind of gets a little crusty, an outer crust, a nice little toast on the outside. But I've never needed to grill my avocado, but I appreciate the idea, and it just needed some texture, apparently, from our guest judge. And I think the real winner for me, and it was the winner for this quickfire, was Sarah.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything better than a goopy morel mushroom? I mean, it looked so good, and I'm so glad that she did this. And I really felt that of all the people in this episode, I felt like Sarah had the best overall performance, starting with this quickfire.
She's cooking really creatively. A carne seca gravy. Morel mushrooms are so meaty and beefy and yummy and substantial. Over polenta with a soft egg. What is better than a soft egg? May Anthony Bourdain rest in peace. He was the huge fan of the soft egg over anything. And then a blackberry salsa. And we're seeing a lot from Sarah right now. We really are. She's coming off of the elimination challenge win, moves right into a quick fire challenge win. And then, as we'll see in the elimination of this episode, showed out again.
Yeah, shout out to Carlota Flores, the local celebrity there, coming from the oldest continuing Mexican restaurant in America or close to that.
I think like the oldest Mexican restaurant that's been run continuously by the same family, I think perhaps.
Props to her. And I love the fact that Buddha studied Native American and Mexican cuisine ahead of this because it's the most Buddha thing. Like, of course, Buddha like went and got his master's in Native American and Mexican cuisine before he did this. He is an absolute scholar of Top Chef, and it showed that he knew a little bit more, maybe a little bit more range than we typically know of him with this tostada, but he obviously couldn't get that grease right. So I was really interested to learn more of the Sonoran Desert. It's the most biodiverse desert on the planet. I did not know that, and I guess it felt like an oxymoron to me, Kevin, but now that I think about it, if you go to a desert, it's not completely bereft of any sort of life there, but cactus, I've never really had a cactus dish before. Kevin, do you like cactus, or is it kind of like not gimmicky, but something that's out of...
No. I mean, it's earthy. I mean, it has certain properties of a pepper. Obviously, I don't find it nearly as metallic tasting. I've never been one who loves like peppers. But no. I mean, you find it in the Jaliscan food. You find it in Sonoran food. I've cooked with it once, not terribly successfully. And the elimination challenge was very simple. It was, you're going to make two dishes, one savory, one sweet. One must include cactus. The other one, chiltepin, which I think I'm pronouncing correctly. And chiltepin is you are the chili pepper expert, Tom. And,
yes.
I know chiltepins just looking like little berries. You almost would miss that they are a pepper. What do we know about the chiltepin in terms of like the hierarchy of peppers, which obviously you have done great work with, both for fun and obviously to raise. Tom, how much have you raised for ALS at this point?
About $1 million.
Yes.
Not bragging, but about $1 million for ALS research. And I have never had a chiltepin, but it is very hot. It is measuring between 50,000 and 1.6 million Scoville units. So like think about a jalapeno, anywhere from a jalapeno heat to basically a Carolina Reaper. Like this is serious range here. So
now, where is the habanero, which I've always known? I'm not knowledgeable in this. Isn't that kind of among the ones we know one of the hottest?
Yeah, it's probably like 2 or 3 times hotter than a jalapeno, and that was the pepper of choice. Like when Mina Kimes did it, Pablo Torre did the pepper
What about
challenge.
the habanero, though? The habanero,
yeah, the habanero is like 3 times hotter than a jalapeno.
Wow.
It is really hot, and
so where does this sit? It sits between those two.
I think it's a little bit hotter. It just has a lot of range. Like depending on the one that you get, it can be kind of mild, but it could be just like you're gonna feel that the second time when it goes out of your body very, very badly. So here's a little write-up here that I found. In Mexico, the heat of a chiltepin is called arrebatado, which means rapid or violent, because while the heat is intense, Kevin, it is not very enduring. This stands in contrast to the domesticated Pekin variety, which is the same size as the wild tepin, but is oval-shaped and delivers a decidedly different experience. It also says, since this pepper is harvested from wild stands in the Mexican desert, the heat level of the fruit can vary greatly from year to year, depending on the amount of natural rainfall that occurs during the time the fruits are forming. During drought years, fruit heat levels can be weak, and during normal rainfall years, the highest heat levels are produced. And there's a large variation between the heat levels of the green fresh fruit, which are pickled in vinegar, red ripe fresh fruit, and dried whole fruit and dried fruit with the seeds removed. And their heat levels are ranged from mildest to hottest in order, and around 50 tons are estimated to be harvested commercially annually, primarily in Sonora. So that is your write-up on chiltepin.
That's an impressive little pepper, isn't it?
It is. It's tiny, man. It packs a big punch.
So Sarah gets 30 extra minutes. That was her reward for winning the quickfire. She is prone to overthinking. However, I think here it served her extremely well. She conceived a really creative dish, Tom. I mean, it was really, I think, the most out of the box of the 4 in terms of the savories. I mean, she says she's going to work with lamb, which she loves doing, and she's going to pickle the chiltepin and make a chimichurri. She's also going to create a chiltepin vinaigrette for a grape salad and then smoked yogurt. I think we remember early, before she got eliminated, yogurt was sort of a signature of hers and a lot of protein dishes to kind of cut
Hello, listener. It's producer Maze here to talk to you about Quince and their cookware. Cooler nights mean cozy meals at home, and Quince's cookware has made fall cooking so much more enjoyable. Their pieces deliver the quality and performance of luxury brands, but at a price that makes sense. And they look gorgeous on the stovetop, too. No matter what item you need to complete your kitchen, Quince has you covered with 5-ply stainless steel pots and pans, nonstick skillets, chef-quality knives, and even ceramic bakeware, which is perfect for cozy casseroles or Sunday roasts. And when you look at these prices, you might think, how is Quince doing this? How do they deliver high-quality items similar to high-end brands that are half the price? Well, let me tell you, they partner directly with ethical top-tier factories to cut out the middlemen and pass the savings on to you. And it's not just cookware. I got myself some bath sheets. That's right. When you're a tall man, you have to use bath sheets, not bath towels from Quince. It's like drying off with a cloud. It's incredible. Upgrade your kitchen for cozy fall meals with premium cookware from Quince. Go to quince.com/dings for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. That's QUINCE.com/dings, DINGS, to get free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/dings.
Listener, listen up. This is important, okay? I'm going to try to save you some money here. If you're still overpaying for wireless, it's time to say yes to saying no. At Mint Mobile, their favorite word is no. You may think like, oh, that's bad. No contracts, no monthly bills, no overages, no hidden fees, no BS. Here's why I said yes to making the switch and getting premium wireless for $15 a month. You heard that correctly. $15 per month. Ditch overpriced wireless and the jaw-dropping monthly bills. And of course, there are all these hidden fees and stuff, but at Mint Mobile, plans start at $15 per month. All the plans come with high-speed data, unlimited talk and text. You're not doing like weekend and nighttime minutes or anything like that. And it's delivered on the nation's largest 5G network. Use your own phone. Don't have to get a new phone. Use your own phone with any Mint Mobile plan and bring your phone number along with all of your existing contacts. I switched months ago. People have asked, did you actually switch? Yes, I actually switched months ago, and I don't know what to do with all this extra money. I've cheated the system here. I've rigged something. This is an Ocean's 11 situation where I'm stealing wireless from Mint. That's how good a deal it is. Ready to say yes to saying no? Make the switch at mintmobile.com/dings. That's DINGS. That's mintmobile.com/dings. Upfront payment of $45 required, equivalent to $15 per month. Limited time new customer offer for first 3 months only. Speeds may slow above 35 gigabytes on unlimited plan. Taxes and fees extra. See Mint Mobile for details.
Hello, listener. It's producer Maze here to talk to you about Kindred. Now, close your eyes like Owen Wilson during a job interview and imagine a way to travel that feels personal, comfortable, and connected without the price tags and the sterile feelings of hotels or short-term rentals. Now open your eyes and stop using your imagination because Kindred has made it very real. That's exactly what they do. Kindred is a members-only home swapping network. It's not a hotel. It's not a short-term rental. It's a smarter way to travel where each stay feels like home. Here's how it works. With Kindred, your home is your ticket. You earn credits by hosting fellow Kindred members, and then you use those credits to stay in over 220,000 homes in more than 100 cities worldwide. There are no hotel costs or rental fees, just the credits that you've earned. Every stay comes with white glove service, 24/7 trip support, and $100,000 in host protection. Make it easier for you to travel and enjoy yourself and not worry about details. I've used Kindred and I found an amazing home for a weekend getaway in an idyllic location with amazing views and great ambiance. It had everything I needed. And the best part was, it cost me $0. So apply now at livekindred.com and use code DINGS to join for free. Plus, you'll earn 5 nights of travel credit just for signing up. That's right, that's 5 whole nights for free at livekindred.com. Code DINGS, DINGS, livekindred.com, code DINGS.
The family that vacations together stays together. At least, that was the plan. Except now, the dastardly desk clerk is saying he can't confirm your connecting rooms.
Wait, what?
That's right, ma'am. You have rooms 201 and 709.
No, we cannot be 5 floors away from our kids.
The doors have double locks. They'll be fine.
When you want connecting rooms confirmed before you arrive, it matters where you stay.
Welcome to Hilton. I see your connecting rooms are already confirmed.
Hilton, for the stay.
Purina believes no one should have to make the impossible choice between their own safety and their pets. But nearly half of domestic abuse survivors delay leaving because they can't bring their pets with them. Through the Purple Leash Project, Purina is helping create more pet-friendly domestic violence shelters so survivors and their pets can escape and heal together. Visit Purina.com/purple to learn more.
And provide some, some creaminess, some mildness. But that's what she did with that dish, and the judges loved it. Loved it. Said it was the best of the 8 dishes. Kirsten Kish said.
Yeah, Kristen Kish was like, I hate lamb, and yet this is my favorite dish I had the entire night. I mean, that is high praise from Kristen Kish. And I would say also a very Greek dish this is, with the lamb and then the yogurt, like almost tzatziki-like. And so I loved everything about this dish. And as soon as it went down on the plate, I was like, my mouth was just salivating. I was drooling everywhere because of this thing. So I was extremely excited to see that from her. And she also did the cactus tart with the ice cream. And the issue there was she had an absolute battle with the ice cream machine. And
the churner, yes.
Yeah, the churner. It wasn't a total disaster, but I think it just wasn't the right temperature and the ice cream was melted. And I think that little ding that she had was the difference between her being in the middle and her winning it, because that entree dish was just tremendous.
Yeah, it was widely regarded as possibly the best of the 8 dishes that were prepared.
Well, yeah, Tom said it was like a 3 Michelin star dish or something like that. I mean, if there was a best dish award, she definitely won it with that one.
I mean, I know I'm a broken record on this, Tom, but boy, has the show missed her this season. They had a great chef with a great presence in front of the camera. By the way, can we talk about the weird superimposing
confessional?
Yeah, like what was going on there? Were those filmed and then against a fake background?
Well, I guess the thing is when they're filming it in the actual studio in LA or Bravo, like the Bravo kitchen, they are there. But since they're on the road, they may have not been able to do those confessionals back at the normal studio, I guess.
No, but this looked odd.
I did notice that too.
Well, whatever. The production folks can let us know. But it wasn't a huge distraction, but it was a little bit odd. Sarah's and DeMar's in particular looked weird.
Can I ask you a question about Sarah here? I noticed at one point in The Cook, she asks Buddha how to do liquid nitrogen, and Buddha obliged and gave her the answer. So, Kevin, what do you think about that?
He did and he didn't. Just added is not exactly great guidance. Just added is, I'm not going to be a dick. So I don't want to say figure it out on your own. But I would not say that just added is a great clinic in liquid nitrogen. Don't you think? I mean, that was my interpretation, was he was as polite.
Just turn it on. Yeah. Just press the button.
He was a very politely unhelpful person.
I'm cool with that. This is the finals, right? Like, if you don't know how to do liquid nitrogen at this point, don't try to do liquid nitrogen.
Right. She got by. It wasn't a beautiful ice cream, but it was, she was not enough to go home. She used a gorgeous, so in terms of, you were talking about cactus, the saguaro cactus is what I call the cartoon cactus. You know, the one with like the funny arms that looks like you'd see in a Looney Tunes cartoon, or what I call the cute cactus. And we just planted some back in my backyard, which hopefully in the next several years will become huge cartoon cactus with the little arms. So the flower on the saguaro is that really rich fuchsia color that the judges were exclaiming on many of the dishes, right? Like it's just that real pop. And so for Sarah, she used the saguaro fruit to make an ice cream. However, hers wasn't that big saguaro fuchsia. But that is sort of the color that we're seeing on a lot of these dishes. Is that sort of blossom, the saguaro flower.
Yeah, and again, I guess that she was going to be the winner. Evelyn didn't have any mistakes in hers, but I thought that the strengths were far outweighing the weaknesses on her dishes. Sarah, I actually guessed that she was going to be the champion of this elimination challenge.
Oh, interesting.
Let's go to Buddha. Buddha finished in the middle. He does the tom yum soup. I love a good tom yum soup, so I was so happy to see him do this dish.
It's just a smart use, right? Because you want to highlight the chile. There's no better way to do that to me. I mean, the tom yum is such a great kind of canvas for that as soup. He creates this gorgeous dumpling that everybody's raving about. He does silken tofu, which is a nice mild counter to a very pungent and spicy tom yum. Calamari noodles, who doesn't love that? Some prawns. Just decorated the perimeter of the dish with these desert flowers. I mean, it was really kind of something. It was really cool.
Right? When Chef Kish is just saying like, hey, I need to learn how to do that dish or need to do that dumpling. You're doing well when she's, taking notes here. So yeah, he knocks this one out of the park again. The thing about Buddha, you might ding him just because he's got these like presentation little gimmicks to it that might seem like gimmicks, but it's really not superficial. All of them, when he does it, really seem to serve a purpose. And I think that's really felt by the judges that when he presents those dishes, they're wowed, but not in a very like cheap way. I think he just knows what he's doing on this one. And so he does this dish that I'd have a tough time turning that one down for the lamb that Sarah did, but it was right up there. It was so cool. Calamari noodles, a turnip dumpling. It was super clever, and I think a great vehicle for the pepper.
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, sometimes plating can be pretentious, or in service of something other than, just really service for effect. I don't think he does that. Like, I think his sort of highfalutin presentations are rooted in something real. And here it was place and desert. It felt totally natural. I don't think he was just going for show. And I feel like consistently about his presentation and plating. His dessert, cactus cake, cactus seed ice cream, and a prickly pear snow that was gorgeous. The critique on that was that it just didn't pack as much punch.
Yeah, and I was a little surprised by that because he really doesn't sacrifice flavor all that often. And I thought the visual was outstanding, and the snow, probably the texture was outstanding. But yeah, he comes up short on the taste, and that's not Buddha-like.
Too cold is what Tom said.
I mean, what does that even mean?
I don't know. I think sometimes like with an ice or a granita, like if it's so cold that you kind of the thing on your tongue is not flavor as much. Temperature sort of overrides flavor. That's my guess.
And I'll just say this. I don't like snow cones. Yeah,
I'm not a big ice guy.
I can't do it. I get goosebumps and it just drives me nuts. The shivers whenever I bite into ice cream. So you know what? I take that back. Buddha, I don't like the snow idea. Too cute. And who likes chewing on ice cream? Well, I don't. I know a lot of people do, but I don't like that. And you know what? It looked very pretty, but it wasn't quite up to the standard of Evelyn, who did a great job with hers. Was it the relleno that a few years ago there was someone who just totally botched the relleno, and Evelyn just did a really great job with hers on this one?
I mean, she a beautiful. So the two, so there are multiple types of cacti, right? And the nopales or the nopal is the flat one that you see, versus the one I was talking about earlier, the saguaro, which is the cartoony tubular one. And so the nopal is what she did. I mean, that was gorgeous the way she rolled it. It did a shrimp puree, kind of diced up some nopal cactus raw to really kind of keep it front and center and to give it a little texture. The Fresno chilies. And I love edible flowers on dishes. It's something I don't do as much of as I should. But the marigolds I think one of the knocks sometimes on Evelyn is that her stuff is always delicious, but a little homey, a little safe, a little easy. Maybe not as elevated as it could be. You could do a taco in your sleep, blah, 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 right? And here, she to me was a shift test this week, kind of reacting against constructive criticism from last week that was totally rightful, and she kind of took it and ran with it. It was like, okay, you know what, you're right. And it still had every bit the hominess, but it was truly elevated. The relleno the roll and the wrap and the Rieno. It just, I loved looking at that dish. I really wanted to taste that dish. Of the four, it's the one I was most drawn to.
You know, in the NBA, a lot of people like to think that there's this romantic coming home story when there's a homecoming for a player going back to his home city. And oftentimes it just too much pressure, too many people trying to get to that player, and it just becomes overwhelming. And those homecomings are very rarely successful. You see it successful with LeBron James and then just about nobody else. You saw what happened to Russell Westbrook in LA this year. I think Evelyn, with going from Houston and then going to Tucson, there's every opportunity for her to just melt under the pressure of having these home games. And she hasn't done that at all. And I really want to commend her for that, because we see that all the time in Top Chef is they overthink it or they just try to do too much. And here with the savory dish, I think she just nails it. And she takes something that can be pretty rudimentary or something that isn't extremely sophisticated, and she was able to deliver. So shouts to Evelyn. I mean, with this dish, she gets off to a great start. I think she comes from behind, because I think when you look at Buddha and Sarah's savory dish, this one needed to hit the mark, and it did. But I think it was her dessert that won the challenge for her.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not somebody always drawn to curd, and she does this sour orange and sweet lime curd with the saguaro meringue, the prickly pear granita. Again, we're not drawn to ice, and the basil flowers. And again, we can't taste the food. The only kind of shortcoming of this show, but the judges seem to suggest it was the best of the four desserts, with Damar's as a close second. So, and it apparently was enough to elevate her over Sarah, who had probably the best entree. And it was gorgeous to look at, and really just kind of capture the challenge. Again, it just felt like Sonora. Let's talk about Damar, because I think, 8 dishes, 2 each. The entree from him seemed to be the only, and again, not a terrible miss. I don't think there are many weeks where he'd go home for that dish. I don't know if there's 1 week prior to this week he would have gone home for that dish. But it was enough. His glazed pork shoulder with the chiltepin prickly pear barbecue sauce, the beans that he overcooked and had to turn into a puree, the pickles with the chiltepin, the nopales, it just didn't work for them. They thought it was a bit of a disjointed, non-assembled, or non-cohesive. They loved the sauce. The pork shoulder cook was fine, quite good actually. They didn't dislike the pickles, but there's something about it that wasn't integrated.
Yeah, it really didn't have that spokes to the wheel, or just actually getting everything to put together at one spot. And I think when you look at Damar, like you said, at this stage of the game, it didn't feel like something that you're going to tell your friends about, and that's going to get you sent home. It's just not a home run dish. He hit a double here. And I think with Damar, it's sad to see, because I think he could have won this thing. He hit a little bit of some turbulence over the last few episodes, and we didn't see his best stuff. Like we said last time, he was someone who said he was keeping stuff in his back pocket for the finale, and maybe he did have some stuff in his back pocket, but this didn't feel like, to me, of his two dishes, visually and just, I think the innovation wasn't there. And this dish certainly felt like he put all the ingredients together and didn't really think too much about how to bring it all home. And obviously looked like a really well-tasting dish that everyone would have enjoyed. But at this point in the game, with the way that Evelyn and Sarah and Buddha are going, like Gail said, he just didn't rise to the challenge with this dish.
Yeah, and it cost him in the end. His dessert looked fantastic. It was my favorite dessert to look at.
Oh yeah,
I love a cake, a prickly pear cake with that lovely glaze, and then he had these sort of various textural toppings, the cheese, the saguaro fruit, the frozen mango. They loved it. Tom was caught on camera saying he crushed it the minute they brought it out. Again, I had him ranked as the number 2 dessert and the number 4 entree based on judges' reactions. But it wasn't enough. Yeah, DeMar did his best cooking kind of mid-season, and certainly did fine here. Just, I think the biggest surprise, however, I know Evelyn won the day, but I mean, I think, and I'm very excited now to handicap the final three with you, is that Sarah is cooking savory dishes that are comparable with anything we've seen this season, even with Jackson at his best when he was cooking before he went out for front of the house mismanagement. Tom, where are you on the Sarah Evelyn? Let's handicap this thing as a little bit of a preview here with the final 15 minutes we have. Where are you? Buddha has been our pick for quite a while now. I have had Evelyn as, I think, a slightly bigger threat than you've had her as, and I still maintain that she has got some serious game going on right now, and in a region that she knows well.
Yeah, she's not making mistakes. She knows her style. She knows her pitches, and she is going to absolutely throw everything that she has in those pitches. My only question is, Kevin, is she a great starting pitcher, or does she have a fastball closer that she's going to need to have in this last episode? That's my concern, is that I know that she just won this episode, so how could we question her ability to deliver on the biggest stage? And I just wonder if Sarah and Buddha have higher ceilings, and therefore I'm probably going to put Sarah just a tad bit higher on the power rankings than Evelyn, which seems crazy to say after she comes off a victory, but I don't know. With what Sarah's doing and the kind of chip on her shoulder that she has because of the Last Chance Kitchen, I've got her pegged a little bit higher than Evelyn, and then a distant second behind Buddha, because I just think Buddha is just as close to flawless in this season as you'll find.
Well, maybe Buddha will make a staff meal, and then Sarah or Evelyn can sneak in there.
It's possible. like Buddha, if Buddha were going to go home,
maybe Buddha will make egg salad sandwiches, or I'm sorry, I can't even get to the finale of 19 without throwing shade at Shota for his just disappointing, the most disappointing finale performance ever for one of the greatest contestants that's ever come through those doors. It is truly, I'm still smarting from that, by the way.
I know, I can feel it.
So to be semi-serious here for a second, I think what I'm saying here, though, albeit in jest, is that elevation is the key to the finale, right? Like, I do think, as much as I think the show embraces all kinds of traditions and, hey, cook from your heart and all of that, I do think there's still a legacy on this show, which is the finale is for tasting menu style cuisine. It is for elevated, just top of the line, award-winning, 3 Michelin star type stuff. And that is still, I think, the tacit expectation of the judges when you get to a finale. Is they want to be wowed. They want dishes served to them that they could imagine stealing, taking back to their restaurants and putting them on the menu. And they want signature dishes. And it's not a time to do blank in your sleep, right? And I think Evelyn has demonstrated, though, I think, this week and going forward, that she has the capacity to do that. The challenge for her, and Sarah for that matter, is that there's a stage presence to Buddha's food that is pretty remarkable. Now, I think Sarah has a little bit of that too. And I think we've seen it in the last couple of weeks. Because she's a little scattered and self-deprecating and kind of has this constant interior monologue going, it's easy to mistake Sarah as somehow her food being non-serious when it is deadly serious. And she has no problem, I think, raising the technical features of her dishes. And I think we can expect that. But am I right, though? It's still Buddha's to lose?
Yeah, it's Buddha's to lose. I'd still take him over the field here, even though Sarah and Evelyn are that good. I just think I feel like Buddha's going to come in here with like a 60-point performance. And maybe I get that wrong, but it seems like he's got so much confidence and he hits all the right notes. My question to you, though, Kevin, is do you think that Jackson deserves to be here?
Deserve how?
in the sense that when you look at these three finalists, where we were earlier in this season, that Jackson was just mowing down the competition. Is there a part of you that wishes you could see Jackson on this stage, or you're very happy?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I don't think he deserves to be here. I mean, he would have deserved to be here had he beaten Sarah in Last Chance Kitchen. Do I think he could tomorrow come into the finale as a fourth contestant and cook step by step with these other chefs? Yeah, I think he's as good as they are.
Yeah.
It's like the Phoenix Suns. We could see them next week in the finals, right? But, hey, I mean, do I think they could give either team a go? Absolutely. That's however I am with Jackson is, it's not so much he deserves as I do think he has the game to cook finale quality food. And I think there always will be added sympathy. And you and I've talked about this in the past. Someone who goes out for front of the house on Restaurant Wars, it's a particular, there are certain kinds of eliminations that will never be fully sort of reconciled, right? Going to being a party, being collateral damage on a team challenge, right? Or a duo challenge where your partner just screws you both. Front of the house is that for me as well. That, look, it's not that it isn't part of being a great restaurateur in this world is being able to manage the front of the house, but can we just be honest for a second? Because I think the thing is, it's not about this is not top maitre d', right? It's top chef. And so from your question's a good one in the sense that, yeah, I would love to see Jackson in a finale situation because I think he could cook his ass off. And I think he could give Buddha a run for his money. I think give Sarah and Evelyn a run for his money. And there will always be something a little unsatisfying about an elimination for, oh, hey, you didn't schmooze up the diners well enough. Well, you know what? I know, Tom, you and I in our social circle have many people who would excel at the art of hosting, okay? But that doesn't mean they can cook world-class cuisine. And we know Jackson can, and he got eliminated not for screwing that up, but for some other task. But that's what I love about Top Chef, though. It happens. That's part of the game. You need to not put yourself in a position where you can be.
He wanted that. He wanted to be the front of the house, right?
You wanted it, and that was that. Yep.
And he had his second chance in Last Chance Kitchen, and he didn't deliver. So I just thought, with someone who is that strong in the early going of the season, and now that we're at the finale here or about to enter the finale, I just didn't know if you had any reservations about the final three and whether you wish, someone was there that wasn't in that field. But Damar, it was good to see him on this show, and he said he gained a lot of confidence here, and I think he really he just did an outstanding job, exceeded expectations certainly in our draft. And I loved having him around. I loved his cool demeanor, his voice, his baritone voice. I feel like he could be a nice radio host. Is someone who could. I bet he was in a very successful choir back in the day, or he should have at least. He was a great chef test. And do I think he deserved to be ahead of Sarah Evelyn here? No, I thought when they announced that he was going home, I felt like that was the right call, given what we heard from the judges. And it's tough to see him go at any point when you're whittling it down to 4-3. It's going to be tough, and I'm excited for this finale.
Yeah, I'm really hoping I can get to Hyde Park next time I'm in Chicago and go to Virtue. Again, I couldn't get a table, but I would love to have some of Damar's cooking in person at a dinner table. All right, Tom, I'm going to ask you for your pick. Not to over-dramatize it, I get the sense of who your pick is, isn't it?
Yeah, my question is, right now, do you take Buddha against the spread? Or you think he's going to falter given the handicap points that we're giving him? Like basically, is he going to live up to the hype in this finale? Or do you think that Sarah and Evelyn are going to take it?
I'll take the field. I have Buddha at like 47, but I don't have him above 50. 47, 32, 21 Sarah. Nah, maybe higher than that.
Okay, I got 60 Buddha, 25 Sarah, 15 Evelyn. That's where I'm at.
Oh, you got Sarah ahead of Evelyn for the finale.
I do. I think her upside is higher than Evelyn's, and in the finale, that's what I'm going for. Although that might be riskier in the sense of mistakes, I think her upside is higher than Evelyn.
You're probably right there. I didn't even think about that. Right. More time. Evelyn has been the most consistent chef. She doesn't make mistakes, but the finale is not about mistakes. It's about just you finding your ceiling. I think I'm Buddha. I have just below 50, so I will take the field over Buddha, but I have Buddha as my most likely to win.
Yeah, that makes sense. I think there's also part of me that says that Sarah, because she was in Last Chance Kitchen and doing more of these quick fires, I feel like she's got more options here in terms of the wow factor entrees that she can actually think through and not have to, do it in 6 minutes because she wasn't in the regular show. So I kind of feel like she's got some more stuff in her back pocket that she's able to throw. And I don't know that Evelyn and Buddha, whether they've just kind of shown their best stuff at this point. I think Sarah's got some more room for improvement here, room to deliver. And so that's also going into my calculus, is that I think Sarah has only shown 4 or 5 elimination challenge dishes, and she's got so many more that she can cook up in her head. So I actually, that's going into my calculus too, is that Sarah has just a little bit more that she can show.
Closing thoughts, Tom, before the finale.
Looks like Stephanie Izard is back. Looks like Eric Repair is there. Ed Lee in the finale. I didn't see any other familiar faces in the preview for next week.
No, always love to see Ed Lee, though. I'm very happy about the Ed Lee appearance, yes.
Yeah, it seemed like they were a little starstruck by Eric Repair. Me too. I feel like if he walked in, he's in my top 5 most intimidating chefs if he was going to walk into the room. So I'm excited for this finale, Kevin, and I'm sorry to say that this season's going to be over next week. I know it was not their best season of Top Chef, but I really am excited to see what Buddha does here because there is a lot riding on this one. Me picking him over the field for the last 4 episodes or however long it is, he's got a lot of hype going in here, and I can't wait to see what happens.
For Tom Haberstroh, this is Kevin Arnovitz, and this is Pack Your Knives.